everybody, welcome back to the Rooted Table. I'm Kayla, and today we are going to go ahead and process and make some medicine together. So I have some mimosa tincture that's been steeping and some reishi as well. So we'll talk all about the many benefits of those, and also I'm going to walk you through how to make my super secret special magic hot cocoa. Even though it's midsummer, it's never a wrong time for hot cocoa. So that being said, we're going to jump right into it. Okay, so yes, it is the middle of summer, but we are starting our morning making some hot chocolate because that's what Katya wants. And I actually the other day made some marshmallows, so that's kind of why. I mean, you can't have marshmallows just sitting around and not be making hot chocolate. So anyways, that's what we're gonna do. These, hi Bixie, are our kitchen helpers. Violet, hi Silver, hello. Everybody needs good kitchen helpers. Okay, so there's not a crazy kind of system to this. I basically just measure out how much milk I want in whatever mug I'm using. And there'll be two of us. So I'm gonna double that. Does that look good? Mm-hmm. Okay. And then as for the cocoa powder, I'm kind of a fiend with it. I like my hot chocolate very chocolatey. So let's start there. I'm also gonna put a tiny bit of this dandelion in it, just a little bit, because I really like the flavor of roasted dandelion, and it's very good for you. And lastly, I will add a little pinch of salt because salt brings out the chocolate flavor. That's all that's going into my hot chocolate. So I'm gonna heat this up and then we'll serve it up. Okay, so we have our hot cocoa all mixed up. I'm using this kind of electric mixer thing here to blend it all together. And it looks like it's ready to add some honey. Okay, and now I'm gonna put in the marshmallows. So I made these marshmallows actually with marshmallow root. So they are true to the name, and some gelatin and agave. And I use beet powder to make them pink. And there's cocoa powder on the outside so that they don't stick. But if you're interested in seeing how I make marshmallows, I can definitely show you that. So I'm gonna put our marshmallows in our hot cocoa. And I think we're good.
I think they both need one more.
Oh. Okay, you're right. Look, ready? Wow. All right, so we are now doing the first taste. Cheers. It's good?
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. This here is my ongoing tincturing cabinet. So you can see there's a lot of stuff going on in here. But today, let's see, what are we gonna choose? And some reishi. Okay, so now that I have my yummy drink, we're gonna start processing out some tinctures. So our first contender here is going to be reishi, or Ganoderma tsuge. So here's a close-up of some dried reishi from last year that I just kept whole, just so you guys can see what it looks like. And it's, I'd say this is about a medium-sized one. They do get a lot bigger. Oh, she's trying to bite it, honey. Here's a smaller one. So if you know me at all or have followed along a little bit, you'll probably know by now that I love using mushrooms. I love using mushrooms as medicine. I think that mushrooms are absolutely amazing, and what's really intriguing is that there's just so much that we don't know that's still undiscovered about mushrooms, even though they've found and discovered countless of species. So I think that they're a very magical element to this world. So hemlock is the tree that reishi grows on, and usually in the late spring I'll start looking when I'm by streams or out in the woods where it's very wet, and I'll look for this mushroom. So whenever I find reishi, it does feel like a really special moment. And part of that reason being is because, and I guess as I talk I'll go ahead and start to process the tincture, but part of that reason being is because there's an aphid insect called the woolly addlefish. I don't totally know how to pronounce it, but unfortunately it is destroying the hemlock trees. It actually sucks the sap out of them. So there's a lot of dying and decaying hemlock trees. But inversely, reishi likes to grow on dying hemlock trees. So sadly that's happening, and also there is so much of this medicine available. So that's something that's really interesting. But all I'm doing here, so I made this tincture already. I'm gonna be pouring it out into these little tincture bottles. I guess I should have gotten like a cloth or something. But anyways, this mushroom, in order to make medicine with it, there's a couple ways. One way is to dry or grind up the fresh mushroom, because when it dries, it gets really hard. So it's hard to break up, and you have to rehydrate it if you wanted to. But you can grind up this mushroom and dry it and use it as a tea, or you can make a double extraction tincture. So a fair amount of mushrooms like the double extraction tincture, and that's because you want both alcohol and water soluble properties. So that's what double extraction means. I won't go too much into how to make it in this video, but basically I have my tiny little funnel, and then this is my finished reishi tincture. I'm gonna pour it into this. It just makes it easier to pour. So here we go. Not to get super esoteric on you guys, but part of the reason why I really like mushrooms is because I feel like they are teachers. And one of the main lessons that I learned from mushrooms is the acceptance of death. So not to get too deep, but sometimes I feel like death can be hard to accept in this world, you know? And I mean, it is inevitable for everything, for all of us. Like that is the known, you know? And sometimes with death comes suffering, and it's hard to accept that at times. And I recently had an experience where I had to watch, well, my dog tried to kill a deer, and it was just a whole thing. And I was taking a week-long mushroom course with Sam Landis and Cornelia Chow, who run Mushroom Clubs of Georgia. And I went to class that day that happened, and they were playing a video, and this woman was talking about how we need to let things rot. We need to let things die and decay, because that is a part of life. And you know, that in turn goes to the soil and creates life as well. So I feel like mushrooms are the only thing that decomposes naturally, makes things decompose and return back to the earth, return, you know, back to the source. So anyways, I feel like are good teachers of acceptance of the cycle of life and death. So that's how I like to look at working with mushrooms as well. Now, on on to the health benefits of reishi mushroom. So reishi is known as the mushroom of immortality, and it also grows over in East Asia as well, areas of China and Japan, and that is what reishi means. And so this mushroom is basically like a life tonic. It's good for your immune system, for fighting free radicals. It's full of beta carotenes, which are anti-inflammatory. It's good to just support your body and systems and all of their functioning, your lymphatic system. I mean, the medicinal benefits of reishi are kind of endless. So that's why I, say if you're going to choose one mushroom to work with, have it be reishi. It's just an overall, no matter what you have going on, you can benefit from taking this mushroom. Seriously, guys, it really is amazing. Something that I want to throw in here too, because I was editing the video and I was like, wait, I forgot that about reishi mushroom, is that it is really amazing to help with sleep. So it is a mushroom that's said to nourish the spirit, so that at nighttime everything can calm down, you can relax. I've taken it for sleep before, and you don't have to take it at night to help. You can just take it during the day, and that will then in turn help with sleep at night. And something too that the rooted table is, or one of the things that the rooted table is all about for me, is creating consistency in tradition. And I feel like there's a lot of things that we can incorporate into our daily lives that are little rituals that help us connect with ourselves. If they're, food from growing outside or things that we found outside, it helps us connect with the land and inherently connect with each other. And so, whatever it is, whether it's a reishi tincture or whether it's some wild leaves you found outside, or even just taking a walk, it all, to me, I think where we are in this world, it all is medicinal and just form of connection that I feel like is really lacking today. So that is something that I will always support. And it doesn't, you don't have to go harvest reishi mushroom. You can also find it. I also have it available as well, which I will link below. But you don't have to do all these things yourself. You really don't. Even just thinking about it is enough. But I, as you can see from my videos, I love that medicine just grows right where we walk. I feel like it was divinely placed for us, and I love just sharing about simple ways that we can use it, or even just, start to notice what's growing underneath our feet. Anyways, I'm really excited to process out some of this mimosa tincture, and once we get into it, I will tell you why I love this so much. So here is my method to strain a tincture. Just use a strainer and pour it out. It really is that easy. And I like to use 100 proof vodka in my tinctures because it's 50% water and 50% alcohol. So that means it is a perfectly balanced tincture. I do not like to use a high grain alcohol because our bodies can't really process alcohol at that high of a level. So in my opinion, you're getting the best medicinal benefits when you do 100 proof vodka. And also here, I'm just squeezing out the mimosa flowers because look at all that good tincture liquid in there. So an interesting little fact about mimosa is that it is not native to this area. And I know I talk a lot about natives because natives are great, and we should focus on bringing back more natives into our landscapes. But mimosa is a hitchhiker that came over here from the east, and it can be invasive. Maybe not slightly, but it has now become a part of our natural landscape in a lot of areas, and a lot of herbal medicine makers have learned to just work with the plant. A lot of herbal medicine makers have learned to work with the plant. And you know, just because something is not from here does not always make it a bad thing. And that is an analogy for for other areas of things happening in the world. But I love mimosa, and I feel like it's hard not to. If you ever have seen those beautiful, bright, puffball looking pink flowers, I mean, it really is just such a beautiful tree. And one of my favorite names for the tree is Tree of Happiness. So I've mentioned this before in some of my videos, and this is called the doctrine of signatures. So basically, what a plant looks like, feels like, tastes like, can give you an indication of the medicine that it has. Now this one, I don't know, some people might think it's far-fetched, but mimosa is called the Tree of Happiness. And I mean, when you just look at like a pink puffball looking thing like that, it can't really do anything but spark joy. And I think that's probably my uneducated guess as to why people started to think, maybe this plant is used for uplifting your mood and bringing you up when you're sad and bringing happiness and joy into your life. And people actually you can use the bark and the flowers. This was a tincture of just the flowers. If you are harvesting the bark, you do want to do so a little bit more carefully as to not harm the tree, of course. And mimosa is really just so special. I mean, it increases your serotonin, and it helps with GABA retention and dopamine retention. So basically, it's really good at uplifting your mood. And you know, sometimes we can look at a plant and be like, oh, this helps me detox my liver, or this helps me lower my cholesterol, or things like that. And sometimes you just say, this plant helps make me happy, and that's just as much medicine, you know, as the other stuff. So that's why I really love working with mimosa. I am finishing putting some labels on these tinctures. These tinctures, like I said, they're available in my shop, which I will link down in the comments. And something that I really like about this form of medicine making is that it's slow. And I'm all about slow processes these days. And you know, good things, they do take time. And the slower something is, the longer you have to put your intentions into it, and you know, what you hope for whatever it is that you're making. And so I'm putting these labels on, like I said, because this is a part of the rooted table. You know, I enjoy so much working with things that grow wild or foraging, because you're not only working with the plant, but you're working with the rain that helped that plant grow, and the sunlight and the soil and the critters that helped pollinate it, and just so many more things than just what the plant is itself. So I feel like it's a beautiful way to capture all that beauty, you know, whether it's just a tea or this. And even if you don't have anything that you're internally taking or putting on your skin, you can just sit with a tree or sit with a plant, and it can be just as beneficial as actually taking the plant, in my opinion. You don't need any special fancy equipment or to even buy anything to be able to stay and be a little bit more connected to what's outside your front door. Thank you so much for joining in today and spending a slow morning with me here in the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains. If you'd like to see more videos of me foraging or medicine making or making wild foods or slow foods like bread and fermentation and things like that, definitely subscribe to join our little community here at the Rooted Table, and leave me a comment below if you've seen or worked with any of these plants, if you have any stories about them, and if there's anything that you'd like me to cover as well. So until next time, take good care of yourself, take good care of the land, and I'll see you next time you join along with me here at the Rooted Table.